This is Audible Grown with Paul Brunel and Stephen Carroll, the pop culture podcast covering sports, movies, and everything in between. Enjoy the show. Welcome to episode 8 of Audible Grown. Where for the very first time, we've had a little bit of a slow news month, so we actually have a fun little segment that we're going to have here today for the first time on the show.
Debut,
yeah. This is actually something maybe we'll do going forward. But let's start with how we've been. How have you been, Steven? I've been pretty good.
I've been pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been good. You know, weather has been unusually warm, which is beautiful. Getting to enjoy a little bit of Rhode Island's coast a little early, which is really nice.
New England weather, man.
Yeah, it's wonderful. You never know. I've learned not to watch the weather because tomorrow's going to be 80, and the day after it's going to be the blizzard of 78 all over again.
Yeah.
And then the day after that is going to be 100% humidity, and then the day after that it's going to be World War III with the coronavirus, and then the day after that it's going to be about 23 below zero, and then the day after that, well, I don't want to go that far, but that's New England for you.
Yep.
So how about we jump in with the movies, since it's the end of the month, and it's a leap year, there's only a few days left. The movie's coming out in March. In March. This is kind of where we're going to start seeing, like, the bigger releases that we know are not going to, like, flop, like, stupendously.
Yes.
But how about we start with what we're seeing this Saturday?
I was gonna say that if we should start with that.
Yeah. So we are seeing, there is a sneak preview of the new Pixar film called Onward with Tom Holland and Chris Pratt. And that is playing for one showtime this Saturday, 6 days before it comes out for the world, just to get people talking. And we managed to score tickets.
And we will be there, so.
And we will be there. Probably the first time in my entire life I'm seeing a movie on a leap day. February 29th.
Me too.
That's never happened before.
I can't recall it ever happening for me either.
No. Gosh, because we've only seen, we're both born in 92, we've only ever seen 7 leap days.
Yeah. 7
of them. So that's really interesting. So Onward is really cool. I don't know if you know this, but it was a personal story. The director's father passed away before he even got a chance to know him.
Oh, I didn't know.
And so he's doing this film about these 2 young teenagers. Their father has passed away, and they discover a magic spell that can bring him back for 24 hours. And they go on a quest to find the rest of the spell to bring him back one last time to talk to him. So it's super like if you think Pixar usually makes you cry, like bring 30 boxes of tissues. Yeah. So that's coming out on the 6th. And then we have Ben Affleck's basketball movie, The Way Back.
What? I haven't heard a thing about this. So
yeah.
Film me.
Yeah, so he's doing, as you know, unfortunately, Ben Affleck struggled with, he was an alcoholic for a very long time.
Yeah.
He struggled with drinking back when he was playing Batman. And in this movie, he actually plays a basketball coach who played for the team when he was a kid. That's the last time the team was good. And he was this all-star player, so he's brought back in years later to fix the team, who is just can't play at all. And he's brought back to coach, but his character is also struggling with drinking. So while he's bringing back the basketball team to glory, he's also trying to bring himself back. That's why it's called The Way Back. So it's like super emotional sports movie.
My kind of sports movie. So.
Yeah, there's a comedy coming out on March 13th called My Spy with Batista.
Yeah.
Just showing that the WWE excels in the movie business, really.
Yeah.
You remember that wrestling movie trailer we saw before we saw Sonic?
Oh, yeah. The
monster one?
Forget the name of it.
I think it's called Rumble.
Yeah, Rumble.
Yep. There is Bloodshot. Have you heard of Bloodshot?
No.
That comes out on March 13th, and that is a superhero movie starring Vin Diesel. And it is about a man who is an assassin who wants to go after the people who killed his family. But you find out that he has been injected with these little nanobots so he can like instantly heal.
Oh yeah, I saw the trailer for that.
But what you find out is that he's actually it's like some kind of a simulation where they're creating false memories and they're having him go after real life targets, but they're making false memories, so he thinks he's going after people who killed his wife over and over and over again.
It's basically like
it's like a version of the Matrix.
The Matrix.
A little bit like the Matrix, but it's yeah. There is A Quiet Place Part 2.
I know you're excited for that.
I am, and I will say this, right? This is a very interesting topic, right? And maybe you can talk about this, but to everyone who's listening, how do you handle movie theater etiquette? And I say that with A Quiet Place because it is the kind of movie where you absolutely cannot talk, and you get the people who decide to open 30,000 bags. Like I'm going to open all of my Skittles
now. I hate that. Like, just open it before the movie starts.
Have you ever been to a movie where people just won't stop talking?
Yeah, I went to a movie recently. There was like this older couple, and they were just asking questions about the movie the whole time, like out loud. I'm like,
I went to see Parasite. If you don't know Parasite, the film is in Korean, and the movie starts and there's English subtitles, and a couple leans over next to me and goes, "Is the whole movie gonna be like this?" And I'm like, "Oh, you did not know what you were signing yourself up for. I'm so sorry." But movie theater etiquette is interesting. A Quiet Place 2 comes out. You have to be quiet. But you have like people on their phones, or like someone pulling out their phone. It's super bright and the screen's like in your face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there's basically like no sound in that movie, so you really have to like pay attention and do all that.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, it's really cool. It's like a totally different kind of theater experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then at the end of the month is another Disney remake. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Mulan.
Mulan, yeah. You excited? Have you seen the original?
When I was a kid, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this is really interesting because remember I told you it's the very first one that's going to be PG-13.
Yeah. For like violence or whatever.
Yeah, war violence.
War violence.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty intense, and it's like a remake of the original. But it's much more closely related to the ancient Chinese legend of Mulan. And they don't have Mushu in it, they don't have music in it. It's a true blue epic war movie, just happens to be made by Disney.
Hopefully it's not an exact remake of the original.
Well, no, they got rid of the singing, they got rid of Mushu, which I guess was I want to say Eddie Murphy. And then we have, it's really interesting, there's a lot of remakes coming out. We've had a lot of remakes. The moments all have been successful, except for Dumbo. But then after that, they're also doing Peter Pan, Pinocchio, and The Little Mermaid.
I heard about The Little Mermaid. Yeah. I haven't heard about Pinocchio, and I think I saw a teaser for Peter Pan, but I can't remember.
Oh yeah, that's another movie. I don't think they started making it yet. But The Little Mermaid, Melissa McCarthy is playing Ursula.
Yeah, that should be good.
Yep. And then I forgot the woman who's playing Ariel. But that should be really cool. And then Javier Bardem is playing King Triton. If I'm not mistaken, Guillermo del Toro was directing Pinocchio. Do you know who Guillermo del Toro is?
It sounds really familiar.
He directed Hellboy 1 and 2.
Okay.
Pan's Labyrinth. Might have directed one of the Blade movies. Correct me if I'm wrong. You make a little mistake and everyone's like, you didn't know what you were talking about. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know everything about everything.
We're only human people.
He says that, but we're actually superheroes.
Yeah.
So, and so that is March's release. January and February are the movies that come out that they know are going to underperform, do terrible, and they kind of throw them away in the month of January and February and say, all right, hopefully you do good. Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, why? But then once you start getting into March is when you start getting the good stuff.
And then it just leads right into the summer and that season.
Right, yep, right into the summer movie season, where the really good stuff is out, like Black Widow.
I can't wait. That's in May.
We're moving ever closer.
That's in May, right?
That is in May. And I should point out that tomorrow I'm going to see The Invisible Man, which is a remake. I don't know if the people out there know when the original Invisible Man came out. I don't know. That is a classic, I think 30s horror film.
Wow.
And this one is kind of has a modern twist on it. So her abusive boyfriend is a scientist who fakes his death and finds a way to become invisible and stalks her invisible.
Oh yeah, I saw the trailer for that a couple of times.
The only time I felt an invisible entity stalking me is when the IRS wanted me to pay their taxes. And I could just feel them breathing on my neck.
Sounds about right.
I'm only kidding. But since there's not too much going on, I figured we could do a Would You Rather movie edition.
Alright, so how is this gonna work?
So here's what we'll do, is I'll read the Would You Rather question, and then we'll give our opinion. And then if the guys on the other side of the glass have an opinion, they can just use hand signals to let me know.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so let's have a little fun here. Here's one. This is very controversial, and I'm curious what you guys are thinking. Would you rather watch Jack from Titanic slip away into the cold, icy water in Titanic, or marry Rose's terrible fiance, Cal? Do you remember Cal?
Yeah.
He was terrible. Cal Hockley.
Just the name is terrible.
Honestly, I wouldn't want him to die. I'd rather him marry Cal Hockley.
True.
Yeah. I do not want.
I'm anti-death.
I am anti-death. Yeah, me too.
So.
Me too. The poor guy who played Cal Hockley has never really gotten. I know the name Cal Hockley.
I know. I can't help but chuckle.
But the guy who played Cal Hockley, he never really got any major movie roles after Titanic. Go figure.
When a character name like that, why would you?
Okay. Here's one. Would you rather only be able to watch Sharknado for the rest of your life, or never watch a movie again?
Never watch a movie.
Sharknado is... it's great, right?
Those movies are terrible.
Oh my gosh, they made like 5 of them.
I know.
It's this generation Citizen Kane. No, I'm only kidding. They also did Sharktopus, which is a shark and octopus.
What the?
Yep. They did one called Metal Tornado, which is a tornado that just shot out metal fragments and killed everybody.
Horrible. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. And then, all right, here's one. Okay. Would you rather be able to watch movies, but a random 5 minutes of it will cut out and you can never find out what happens, or just never watch movies again and know that you're never going to have that torture of always missing a chunk of a movie the rest of your life?
Depends on the movie.
Yeah. Okay. Really? You think so? Okay. So like, imagine like watching Infinity War, and the last 5 minutes where he like snaps everyone is cut out, and you don't know what happens. You can never find out though. Like the information's erased from the internet, so you never know how the movie ends.
I couldn't stomach that. I would need to know.
Yeah. Or like watching the last 5 minutes of the Super Bowl. I know it's not a movie, but then it just shuts off.
Oh God.
So you don't know.
That would like bug me annoying.
Yep. Here's another Sharknado one. Would you rather only be able to watch Sharknado for the rest of your life, or only watch films but on fast forward constantly?
Only watch film fast forward.
That's fair. Okay.
I hate those Sharknado movies.
Yep. Okay, here's a good one. Would you... This one's great. Okay. Would you rather eat overly salty popcorn every time you're in the movies, or never be able to eat popcorn the rest of your life?
I eat salty popcorn all the time.
I can't. I'd be so thirsty. I would not be able to enjoy my movie.
Yeah.
Overly salty popcorn is horrible.
The popcorn at the People Ruin game, I can't eat it anymore because it's just so salty.
Ugh.
I'm
Is
like,
it that bad?
I can't do it.
It's bad. It's bad.
I did it every game for years, and then I'm like, what am I doing?
Ugh. Okay. That one's weird. I'm going to skip that one. Okay, here's one. Oh my goodness. Okay. Would you rather eat chocolate-flavored corn or corn-flavored chocolate, but you can't decide which one it's going to be every time? So it's a surprise.
I have no idea how to feel about that one. I guess chocolate flavored corn.
Can you imagine biting into a chocolate bar and it tastes like canned corn?
No.
It's horrible. Here's one. Would you rather do chores for Captain Jack Sparrow for a month in harsh labor, or kiss Steve Buscemi?
I'll do chores on a pirate ship.
I'll do chores on a pirate ship, yes, just because it's Captain Jack Sparrow.
Sorry, Steve Buscemi.
Would you rather have to hang around with Stuart Little forever, or eat Babe from Babe Pig in the City? That's horrible.
I love Stuart Little.
Stuart Little does not annoy me because it's Michael J. Fox.
So I'll go Stuart Little forever.
Yeah. Okay. Would you rather watch Leonardo DiCaprio die in Romeo and Juliet, or watch him die in Titanic once a day?
Titanic, because I haven't seen Romeo and Juliet.
No, me neither.
So.
Okay. Here's one. Here's a good one. Okay. Would you rather be a Jedi or a Hobbit?
A Jedi.
A Jedi. That's easy. Live in the Matrix, or be able to enter people's dreams like in Inception?
Oh. The Matrix.
Yeah. Would you rather... Let's see. Here's a good one. Attend Hogwarts, or live in Narnia?
Attend Hogwarts.
Even with those staircases? Is that like what you could die on?
Yeah, because I'm in the middle of reading the books right now, so
Yeah.
I'm on a major Harry Potter kick.
Here's one. Would you rather own Woody from Toy Story, or own a Minion from I would burn the Minion. I don't like Minions.
I don't like Minions either.
I'm not a fan of Midians. Yeah, the Midianites from the Bible. No, Minions.
Toy Story.
Toy Story all day. Although Toy Story 4 wasn't good. I'm so sorry.
Well, it was okay.
It wasn't that good.
It was
It was terrible.
okay.
It's like Bonnie has this wonderful moment where she gives Andy gives Woody to Bonnie, just to find out that Bonnie's leaving him in the closet and neglecting him at the beginning of Toy Story 4, and he's gathering dust.
Oh, yeah.
Like, way to go, carrying on Woody's legacy. You know what I mean? And then and then instead of him, being reunited with Andy or being accepted by Bonnie, he gets left alone at a traveling carnival for the rest of his life.
I know.
I'm sorry, I'm being a cynic.
I think you may have framed me.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You see my side.
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll talk about whose side is more right when we talk about the XFL. Houston Roughnecks.
Oh, God.
Teaser. Why don't we transition into the XFL? Because since If you don't know it, the XFL is Vince McMahon's football league, which finally launched. We talked about it on this podcast a while back.
But now it's finally here.
But now it is finally here. And after 3 weeks of the XFL, what is your impression of this football league?
I'm pretty sure we're gonna agree on this because we've been watching it together. But I love it so far.
Yeah, me too. It's great.
I absolutely love it.
Let's see if we can get this right. Okay, I'll name 4 teams and you name the other 4. So right now the XFL is only 8 teams. Okay?
All right.
So you have the DC Defenders, the Houston Roughnecks, the Dallas Renegades, the St. Louis Battlehawks,
The Los Angeles Wildcats, the Seattle Dragons,
yep,
the Dallas Renegades, and the Houston Roughnecks.
I think you repeated me.
I did.
Okay, we'll do this. Roughnecks, Guardians, Battlehawks,
Guardians.
Dragons,
That's who I forgot.
Wildcats. I can't think of them every single time, but does it really? No. There's a thing called the internet. You go look it up. But the XFL has actually been successful. Even though Vince McMahon sometimes can't seem to handle his wrestling, he's so far done very well in this football league. It's gaining viewers every week. It's gaining attendance every week. It's been crazy,
The games are good.
The games are amazing. They're trying to keep up with censoring the F-bombs because they're miking up the coaches and the players more than usual. So it'll be right in the middle of a broadcast.
A few got by.
And you'll hear like a quarterback just like drop swears because he's mad about something. And you have like this unprecedented access. So you hear the coaches, you hear the players. It's crazy.
The referees, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. And I guess with that access comes a lot of controversy, like the New York Guardians, or like...
Isn't it funny the Guardians are so bad that I forgot to mention them?
They're terrible. So this is a team, right? And if you don't watch the XFL, at least watch a few games from each week. But this is a team that when they lose, they resort to violence. So one of them...
Like physical violence.
One of them assaulted a referee. There have been numerous fights started on occasion.
There was fights on back-to-back plays last week.
Yeah. We have a quarterback who, when he messes up, blames his teammates and takes ownership for nothing. Potentially fakes injuries.
That's why you're not in the NFL, buddy.
Yeah, Matt McGloin. I don't even like the last name.
Matt McGloin.
I'm sorry. He's probably a wonderful person in real life.
Yeah.
If he could actually play. No. But they're probably the bottom, the low of the low.
Yep.
But I feel like the small format of the XFL, like the 8-team format, is really working wonders for it.
I think they'll go up to 12 eventually.
They'll expand, yeah. But it's really cool, right? Because when the NFL has 32 teams, but when you have a league with only 8, you can follow them so easily.
We get to watch every single game.
Every single one.
Every single week.
Yeah, without fail. It's fantastic. And with that kind of following, you kind of really get a sense for how the teams play. The games are never boring. The rules are much different.
So quick.
They fly by, and it's only 10. It's a 10-week season, and so far I feel like what we have, the product that we have, Vince McMahon is doing a really good job, especially when he has a lot of missteps with wrestling.
And there's so much parity in the XFL. Like, we say it multiple times in the 3 weeks since the season started, but you don't know what you're gonna get game to game, let alone week to week.
Yeah, you don't at all.
You have no idea.
You get, again, you get the language. Remember week 1? That guy just they're getting ready to play, and the guy's leaning over in formation, just throws up on the field, and then just keeps playing.
Yeah. you had the internet just buzzing like
Yeah.
that. Now that's hardcore football, man.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, guys throwing up.
Yeah.
Some guy like smashed seltzer water on his forehead and just downed a whole thing of seltzer water. Wild and crazy living.
They showed a random fan at one of the games eating like cheese and he forgot to take it out of the wrapper. Remember that?
He was eating cheese in the plastic?
Yeah.
Is it possible to be... That's like getting a burger from Wendy's and just biting through the cardboard without noticing. This is fantastic. Wow, this cardboard really has protein.
Yeah.
Like he ate through the plastic and didn't even notice?
No, the announcer were laughing at him like, what is this guy doing?
All right. That's fantastic.
Only in the NFL.
Only that should be the hashtag. They had a streaker at one point. I wasn't there for that one, but I think they talked about it on some other podcast.
They didn't show it on the game, obviously. But.
No. But what I mentioned earlier was that we waited like a few weeks to decide what our teams would be,
and
we did not fall on the same page.
We disagree, so.
So I am sorry to announce that Audible Grown, this is the last episode. It's ending forever because we have had a disagreement and we can't be friends with disagreements.
Don't worry, guys. He's only joking.
I'm only kidding.
The podcast ain't going anywhere.
No, we'll just have to mildly disagree. So I've chosen the Houston Roughnecks, which is number 1. And he's decided to go number 2 because he's used to being number 2. I'm only kidding.
Oh, okay. We're playing that game. Okay.
No, so okay, so what's your choice behind picking the Battlehawks?
Because like they have played well in all 3 games they've played in. They have a winning record, and they played their first home game in St. Louis.
It's interesting you say that because the Roughnecks have played well. They have a winning record, but they haven't lost like your team has.
I know, but what you're gonna do? You can't win them all.
Yes, you can if you're Tom Brady. No, I'm only kidding. No, that's okay. We'll still be friends. Don't worry.
Don't get me started on Tom Brady, okay?
Tom Brady's probably not coming back to the Patriots. It's really sad.
But
here's the reality of it: is like I'll be sad and then I'll go back to my normal life.
For me, it's gonna take a little longer.
Yeah. It might take like a day, and then I'll wake up and be like, "Well, I got to go to work." It'll be fine. It'll be good. So the XFL is really good. Vince McMahon's putting out a good product. Goldberg is. Wait a minute. I should probably not spoil it if you haven't watched Super Showdown. Goldberg is on the show, with what I was gonna say.
Yeah. I've already been spoiled, but I won't spoil.
I will say this: Vince McMahon might be doing something right with WWE. Maybe. And
there's another surprise.
Yeah.
That we won't spoil.
Yeah. No, we won't. Don't worry. And that is a wonderful transition to go from the world of wrestling and the world of football to the world of a little yellow sponge, because everyone loves the SpongeBob corner or moment or minute.
Sure.
And I have here a list called the funniest SpongeBob episodes that was just published as of this podcast recording.
How many
9
episodes are on there?
There are 9.
They couldn't add one more?
There are 9. It says top 10, but it starts at 9.
What?
But it's Screen Rant. Screen Rant's they don't know how to spell. I'm sorry, Screen Rant. I realize that we're not super popular yet, but when we do, they're gonna go back to these first episodes and realize all the time I've insulted famous things, and they're gonna like kick us off the air. So Screen Rant's great.
No, they won't.
Probably not. They have number 9 as Help Wanted.
Okay.
That's fair. It's a good one. The very first episode.
First episode.
Pizza Delivery is number 8.
What? That's definitely higher.
Pizza Delivery is the episode where Mr. Krabs decides to make pizza.
Krab pizza.
Yeah. Number 7 is Chocolate with Nuts. I feel like that should be way higher.
Yes.
Number 6 is Idiot Box. That is the episode where Squidward buys a TV and leaves the box to SpongeBob and Patrick, and they have their own little, like...
No, they order the TV.
That's right, they do.
But they keep the box and give it to...
That's like if I ordered a brand new PlayStation 5 and gave it to you and kept the box.
I know, right?
I'd be like, this is all I need. This is fantastic. Number 5 is Frankendoodle.
Frankie.
That's a pretty good one.
Finland.
Yeah. Number 4 is the Snowball Effect, where they have the massive snowball fight.
I love that one.
Number 3 is Hall Monitor.
Oh, really?
Number 2 is Shanghai.
Which one is
That is, I was going to do my Patrick impression, but then I realized it breaks the sound barrier. Like, some listener called in from Thailand and said, I heard that Patrick impression from my house. Please don't ever do that again. Shanghai is the episode where they go through the perfume department on the ship.
Oh, and they film that part in an actual Macy's, right?
Yeah, they filmed it in a Macy's. Can you imagine a bunch of camera equipment in a Macy's in the perfume section? And there's a couple women perusing, and they're like, what's going on? Oh, they're filming SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 1 is Survival of the Idiots.
Is that the one where they're in the forest, the magic lunch?
Yeah. Yep. No, not the forest. Survival of the Idiots is the one where Sandy is hibernating.
Oh, I'm dirty Dan, that one.
Yeah, that's the one. And then they also did, real quick, a top 10 all-time list. So Sailor Mouth and Artists Unknown are 10. Okay?
How can 2 be 10?
They're picking 2 for each one. Don't ask me.
Okay.
Snowball Effect and One Crab's Trash. That is the soda drinking hat.
Oh, yeah.
That's Schmitty, Werber, Yegerman, Jensen.
He was number 1.
Arg and Rock Bottom. Arg is the 3 gold doubloons. That episode.
Yeah.
But Dying for Pie and Imitation Crabs.
I was dying for pie.
Yeah, that's a great one.
And imitation crabs.
It's a bomb factory. They're bombs.
They're bombs.
Welcome to the Chum Bucket and Frankendoodle. Fair. Graveyard Shift and Krusty Love. Krusty Love is the one where he decides to shower Mrs. Puff with, like, all these gifts. And there's that shot of her in, like, this fancy bed with a hat on, and she's like, can we just go to the park now? And he's like, keeps buying her things. Nasty Patty is 4. Wet Painters and the Krusty Krab training video are number 3. And then 2 is Chocolate with Nuts. And number 1 is The Secret Box and Band Geeks. I think every list has Band Geeks as the top episode of all time, but it's just fair.
Even our list had Band Geeks.
Yeah, and if you'll understand why every time I hear Band Geeks, I get a little aggravated. Is because that time they promised they would play it at the Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh, I'm still not over that.
And then Maroon 5 decided to show up and not sing it.
Then Adam Levine ruined my moment.
Adam Levine. To be fair, there's one Maroon 5 song that I like. Just one. Won't Go Home Without You. It's really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, they promised us the Band Geeks rendition, and they completely fell through. And I'm still a little sad about that.
And the Patriots weren't in that game, so I'm like, at least I have that to look forward to.
Yeah.
And then they didn't do it. I'm like, damn, they didn't do it.
Oh, it's terrible. It was awful. I don't know. I mean, I feel like maybe they had a rights issue, like they thought like it was going to be copyright.
But they they showed like a 2-second clip of it.
Yeah, they managed to get Roger Bumpus, who plays Squidward, to do a quick voice introducing Maroon 5.
Yeah.
But to be fair, they pale in talent to the real talent of Squidward and Tentacles.
I know, right?
So, But maybe we'll get it again. We're actually inching ever closer to the musical coming to PPAC and the movie coming out.
Movie
Which comes out in May, which looks hilarious.
featuring a cameo from Keanu Reeves.
Featuring a cameo from Keanu Reeves, which kind of segues beautifully into the random smorgasbord of movie news we could probably talk about.
You're welcome.
Thank you, I appreciate that. That was perfect. So we can start with that they are actually right now filming The Matrix 4.
Really?
Have you seen the Matrix trilogy?
I've only seen the first one.
You got to watch the others. They're good.
Are they good? Because I've been hearing really mixed things about that.
The Matrix is awesome. The Matrix Reloaded is awesome. The Matrix Revolutions, I thought was awesome, but I haven't watched it since I was a kid. I heard that it was like the weakest one. But the main characters died at the end, and somehow we're getting a fourth one. There are set photos of Keanu Reeves, for some reason, looking like John Wick, which is interesting because he doesn't look anything like Neo. But they're filming that now in downtown San Francisco.
Wait, so the characters all died at the end of the last one?
Yeah.
And they're making a fourth one?
Yeah, like how are they going to do that? But if you remember The Matrix is a computer program
Yeah.
created by machines. So what happened was the world was beautiful and normal, and it was in the early 2000s that mankind created this artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence gets smarter and smarter and smarter, takes over, enslaves humans, destroys the world, and is now using humans as an energy source to keep alive. And so they have, in order for the humans to comply, they create a computer program of a fake world called the Matrix, plug them into the Matrix, and every human who's living on Earth who's thinking they're going through life is actually a servant to the machines, and they're living in a computer simulation.
Yeah.
And so in the third Matrix, Neo and Trinity die, but what if the machines write a new Matrix and bringing back the characters?
Oh, interesting.
Right? But he looks like John Wick on set for some reason, so I don't know.
Maybe he's playing John Wick in the Matrix instead of Neo.
And that's being directed by just Lana Wachowski now. So it was two of them, and then now it's just Lana Wachowski, and she's directing this one, and it comes out in May of next year.
I will be seeing that.
Yeah, it's going to be good. But the really interesting thing is that when they were filming in San Francisco, they had a scene of explosions, and apparently the heat was so hot it melted plastic signs and the tops of plastic light posts on the street, and they had to pay $2,000 in damage to the city.
Nah.
Because of the heat of the special, like the flame effects, which is really cool. And then they're also filming Venom 2. Did you see Venom?
I want to.
You should see Venom, yeah. That was really good. They're filming that right now with Woody Harrelson as Carnage. You know Carnage, like the red version? He's like a little more evil.
Yeah.
That should be really good. But I don't know. Are there any movies you're looking forward to this year?
Aside from the well-known one, not that I can think of, like in the Black Widow, obviously, the SpongeBob movie, Mulan. I'm really excited for Onward, to see that in just 2 days now.
Yeah, on Saturday. It's going to be really cool being able to see a movie like a whole 6 days before everyone else does.
Did you see that movie with Will Smith and Tom Holland?
The one we saw together?
Oh yeah, never mind.
Spies in Disguise, yeah.
The humor in that was fantastic.
No, that is true. Oh my gosh, we need to talk about Sonic.
Oh yeah.
We didn't talk about Sonic
How could
yet.
we forget about Sonic?
The video game curse has been lifted. After the first trailer came out and everyone hated the design so much, they went back and fixed it. It was supposed to come out in November. It came out this month. And why don't you tell us? Why don't you talk about it? It was hilarious.
Well, for us being 290 kids and growing up with Sonic, and then seeing in that movie and having all the 90s humor and all the current humor, it was the perfect blend. They even got the soundtrack completely right here.
Oh, it was brilliant.
Like, it was like taking a trip back in time for a couple hours.
Yeah.
And Jim Carrey at his 90th best.
Yeah, it was great. It was everything you loved about classic 90s Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
He did a lot of serious movies, but he's back here kind of quirky like he was in like The Mask, Ace Ventura, Liar Liar, like Dumb and Dumber, like all his classic comedies. He plays the villain Dr. Robotnik, but he is brilliant. And it is kind of like this 90s like time capsule of a film with updated special effects. But it is just this super successful at the box office with critics. They have like some post-credit scenes that like talk about a sequel, but it's just like this blend of nostalgia that works so well.
Seeing the Sega logo right at the beginning of the movie, you kind of have that moment like, oh my god, it's Sega. Like, I haven't seen that in years. Like,
yeah, that gigantic logo just like pops up on the screen. And like there's like these little pixels, and each one is a different Sega video game. Right before, and it just kind of like zooms out. It's kind of like when the Marvel logo starts at the beginning of a movie, and you know it's going to be good. I was like, I feel like with the success of this now, every time Sega does a new video game movie and that logo pops up, it's going to be like, oh, I can't wait for what's about to happen. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I can't say enough good things about that movie.
We got out of Sonic, and I really highly recommend you watch it. Bring your kids.
You really gotta see this movie. It's so worth the trip.
Yeah, if you were a kid in the 90s, this is kind of the movie for you.
I was born 93. You were born 92.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so it's like, it kind of really speaks to like the 90s kid who would like come home after school, you know, get a snack. It's kind of like getting warm out, so there's a breeze coming through the window, and you just kind of sit in your room, turn on your Sega, and play Sonic for a few hours, and all is well with the world. It's like that warm, snuggly blanket of a movie that just lets you forget what's going on outside of you and just have a good time.
Can we just mention another 90s thing about that Tony Hawk video game documentary thing?
Yeah. Brilliant.
Like, you showed me the trailer for that. I knew nothing about it. Like, I went crazy because...
Yeah. Kind of gets you chills, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically, the epitome of like 90s video game culture is... and this is kind of a good transition. We can kind of finish up talking about nostalgia in the 90s, but like the epitome of 90s culture for video gaming was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. And they had a first, second, third, fourth. They did Undergrounds 1 and 2. They had a whole bunch of sequels.
American Wasteland. I had that one.
Yeah, so like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was this incredible series with this huge like cult following. And I played the game so much as a kid. I remember sitting in my living room, you know what I mean, and it's a bright summer day, and you don't have a care in the world, and you're just skating up and down Los Angeles.
Yeah, like...
And they finally released a documentary about these games that premiered with the band who did the music from the soundtrack.
We listened to that soundtrack all the time, like, and every time I listen to it, it brings me right back to the 90s, playing the original game on like the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, it's perfect. There is like nostalgia is extremely potent, as you know.
I know. There's no better feeling than that feeling of nostalgia.
It's fantastic.
I love it so much.
And I know everyone who grows up has what they call the good old days, right? And everyone grows up has kind of like that time in their life, you know. Like for my dad, it was the late 1960s, early 1970s, you know, watching reruns of Lost in Space and, you know, going outside to play with his little cap gun with his friends, you know what I mean? For us, it's like coming home from school, watching Beavis and Butthead and The Simpsons, you know, and inviting friends over, you know, on a cool summer night, you know, playing games, going outside, looking at the stars, you know, getting ice cream. Yeah. And they're
listening to that pop punk music.
Yeah, like Green Day, you know, Dookie, the album, which we actually were listening to earlier.
On my way.
Yeah, it was brilliant. But everyone has their moment, right? It's like nostalgia is so powerful. And maybe now's a good time to say that we're actually kind of doing our own 90s Day in March.
I was gonna say that.
You want to describe that? That's going to be so much fun.
So, Paul and I are really into nostalgia. And we were just sitting around at my house the other day. And all of a sudden, Paul just goes, "Hey, what would it be like if we took a day and just got to go back to our childhood for a day?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "What if we did a whole 90s theme day on the 90th day of the year?"
And that happened to be a Monday, which is when we work together in March. It's great. So, listen, if you want to have a 90s day or an 80s day, I wish I could have seen the 80s. The 80s sounded amazing.
Yeah.
They sound like so much fun. But, so, we're having a 90s day. We'll talk about how it went on the next episode of Audible Grown, episode 9, which will come out in late March. But we're going to, we're not even going to use our phones. We're going to completely unplug.
Shut off from the world,
yep.
Basically.
We're going to get rid of our phones. We're going to get 90s themed food, 90s themed snacks. We're going to watch 90s, cartoons and sitcoms. We're going to play Tony Hawk. We're going to listen to 90s music. We're just going to totally reenact a day from our after school childhoods and just live
where we
in the
had
moment.
No worries at all.
Yeah, exactly. And not to say life wasn't perfect. And here's the interesting thing about nostalgia, right? Is that there are beautiful moments where you can recapture that magic through different parts of your life. It's not like the past is gone forever. You know what I mean? It is, but there are always new kind of moments and memories to be created.
And funny, the older we get, Disney's remaking all these 90s movies.
They're capitalizing on the audience. It's genius.
The WWE's bringing back all the wrestlers from the 90s. So it's like going back in time, basically.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Nostalgia really does sell.
Yeah, and the really cool thing, right, is if you were when you have kids, you can kind of do it all over again with them and watch them grow up and experience their own memories.
Yeah.
So it's you get to do it as a kid, and then you get to do it as a parent. But you're watching your kids who you love grow up and make new memories, and it's kind of comes full circle.
I mean, it's amazing. Like, all the stuff we grew up with is making a comeback slowly.
Because nostalgia sells. It's true. It really does.
Yeah.
People will want to go back to the good old days so much that they'll pay to recreate moments like that. You know?
Yeah, like I forgot, but you said somewhere that one of the streaming platforms is showing like a lot of the old SpongeBob, like the first few episodes or something like that.
Yep. Yeah, so the classic episodes of SpongeBob are streaming on the Pluto. It's like a free channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on Pluto. I have it on my TV in my room.
I have it too.
But yeah, they're streaming all the classic episodes of SpongeBob. So if you want to watch the classic episodes for free, you can watch them on Pluto. But nostalgia sells. People will really want to kind of recapture those moments. And that's kind of what we plan to do in March.
And I know we're doing the 90s day, but if anyone listening out there who would like to go back to their childhood or something, I suggest if you ever can just take a day and like do the nostalgia thing for a whole day. That's like the best medicine to like help you get away from like the stresses of everyday life.
Yeah, it's good.
So if you can take a day, I would recommend going back.
Yeah, me too. Every once in a while, there's a difference between like living in the past to the point where you can't embrace the future.
Yeah,
like that's
talking.
But like
every once in a while.
just kind of like taking those moments. Like you see it at Target all the time. Like we're selling these makeup kits that was really popular in the 80s. And I've seen a lot of women walk into Target and see these makeup kits, like these boxes, like these plastic bins for holding makeup. And they'll be like, oh my God, I haven't seen these in 30 years. And they buy them because memories are powerful. And to be able to grab a hold of a piece of your childhood is a really powerful thing. That's why they're bringing back Dunkaroos. Remember that candy you dunk in like that?
Yeah.
You know? Okay, maybe the only bad one is when they came up with that colored ketchup. Remember the purple and blue green ketchup?
I know they did green for like the Shrek movies or whatever.
Yeah.
But
and that's in the 2000s. But yeah, it's like people will go out of their way to spend money on memories. You know what I mean? That's why people keep albums and pictures on their phones and will do what they can to kind of preserve the ancient times, so to speak.
Yeah, like there's no shame in that.
No, not at all. So I think that about sums it up. I don't know if there's anything else you want to mention real quick before we kind of head out for the day.
Not that I can think of.
No.
Do you have anything?
No, not really. So next time we come back, we'll review Onward. We will talk about our 90s themed day, how that went. We'll talk about the next few weeks of the XFL. I'm sure there'll be some movies that we'll be reviewing: Bloodshot, A Quiet Place. So look for all those things. Again, we'll cover breaking news. And to anyone who's listening, we really appreciate you listening to us in our growing phase.
Thank you for taking the time to give the podcast a shot.
All great podcasts have small beginnings, and So if if 10 years down the line when we're doing conventions, and we will be that big.
We will. Humble beginnings.
Yes, exactly.
As they say.
But we appreciate your listenership, and we hope you guys have a great day. We're out.
We're out.
Awesome.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and until next time, we hope you don't audibly groan.